Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and yes, you read the title, and as I teased in the last review, and in celebration of Tim Burton's birthday, one of my favorite directors, I'm of course reviewing his first ever film that he directed, and this being his directing debut of movies, that being from 1985, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Arr! I just had to do that because, Pee-wee Herman and, that too. But anyways, so Pee-wee's Big Adventure. This was the movie that started it all for Tim Burton and, for his movie directing career and what would come in the late 80s and throughout the 90s, the movies that he would go on to direct after this. Yeah. So yeah, again, the film that started it all, and, because even say, it was, not only was it this movie, but hey, it was also a special thanks to, Paul Rubens, Pee-wee Herman himself. When he saw Frankenweenie, he chose Burton to direct his movie. And, yeah, so it was all thanks to good old Paul Rubens. So, yes, the story of Pee-wee Herman. An eccentric, when eccentric man-child Pee-wee Herman gets his beloved bike stolen in broad daylight, he sets out across the U.S. on the adventure of his life. Yep, and basically because the story of this movie is, well, he has to get his bike back. That's it. And, well, the bike, it means a lot to him, obviously. So, yeah, the story, I think, was pretty good because, and pretty funny. I mean, what'd you expect? This is a movie all about Pee-wee Herman. I gotta say, I was trying to figure out, any Tim Burton vibes, any Tim Burton feelish, feels to it, when it comes to movies of Tim Burton, there are, how the sets and, artifacts would look, designs of props or whatever. I guess there is, there's a dream sequence that Pee-wee has where a T-Rex, eats his bike. Maybe that does count. I mean, it's a stop-motion T-Rex, But I'm pretty sure there might be. I don't know. I mean, after all, this was Tim Burton's first movie he directed, and that is until he would go on to, of course, direct his own movies, and, yeah. So probably there might not be any Tim Burton-ish stuff in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Maybe, maybe not. I can't even tell. I can't tell. But what about you guys? Can you tell? Let me know. And also, almost forgot to mention, and this is very important, this Pee-wee's Big Adventure also brought Tim Burton and Danny Elfman together. This is where they would meet, when it came to working on this film. And of course, as we all know, Danny Elfman would be, the main composer for most of Burton's films, with the exception of say, Ed Wood and Miss Peregrine. There have been a few films there have been just occasionally and rarely Danny Elfman had not composed a few of Burton's films. So yeah, this is where, of course, again, Tim and Danny, this is where they first met during the making of this film. Of course, the cast of characters. I find it funny because even in the credits, when Pee-wee's name comes up, Pee-wee Herman himself. Now, Paul Rubens' name is not even in the... well, that's just how the movie is. Well, and, technically, Pee-wee is an actual person, I guess you could say, But anyways, so the cast of characters, there was Francis, who, Pee-wee and... Both Francis and Pee-wee, they would butt heads at one another, and Francis, earlier in the film, because, today is his birthday, and he wants Pee-wee's bike, and, yeah, Francis is a total jerk in this. And, well, spoiler alert, of course, we find out that he really did steal Pee-wee's bike, but, Francis sold the bike to somebody else, to get rid of it, he didn't want it, even when, say, Pee-wee was on the move. He was on the track of trying to find his bike. Also, There's Dottie, played by E.G. Daly. Well, that's her name. That's what it says right here. But okay, Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth Ann Gutman. Yeah, everybody would know her best from, say, being the voice of. Is it? Oh gosh, some of the viewers are gonna shoot me for this. But is it? Is it, yes, Buttercup. Buttercup from being the voice of Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls, and also being from Rugrats. She's very well known as a voice actress. So yeah, so pretty cool because in her early career, she was an on-screen actress, and she was Dottie. She had feelings for Pee-wee, but Pee-wee, he was kind of not really, I guess, wanting that. Why? Why Pee-wee? No, it's rare to find true love. Well, it's rare to find the right girl, and, Dottie is the one, yeah. And I say that both Dottie and Pee-wee, they make a cute couple. There was also this, and also, because, Pee-wee, at one point, he doesn't need Dottie or anybody else's help, and so, he just goes off on his own trying to find his bike, and he at one point, hitches a ride with this jailbreaker, Mickey, played by Judd Omen. And even say after Mickey drops off Pee-wee, leaves him behind, the infamous scene of Large Marge, and Large Marge being played by the late Alice Nunn. Everybody remembers this sequence with Large Marge and telling this scary story, and, burning, wrapped. It looked like this, like that face, Everybody remembers that shot, obviously it's stop motion. That shot is well known, and again, the infamous Large Marge sequence. And of course, when Large Marge drops off Pee-wee at a gas station, she has Pee-wee tell them, tell them Large Marge sent you. And, Pee-wee saying to everybody in the cafe, Large Marge sent me. And everybody just shocked, and, they talk about the story of Large Marge, and it turns out that Pee-wee was riding, is hitched a ride, and as everybody says, very spooky, her ghost. So it was the ghost of Large Marge that, Pee-wee was riding with, in the truck. The truck, Large Marge being haunting, and so on. Up at one point Pee-wee actually does work a little bit at the gas station, the cafe, and he then, befriends this waitress, oh my gosh, how do you pronounce her name? Oh my gosh, Simone, if I'm saying that right, if I'm not pronouncing it right, I apologize. Played by Diane Salinger, I think I said that right. Her dream is to, basically she shares with Pee-wee that her dream is to go to Paris, and even say her boyfriend being a very jealous person, Andy, played by John Harris. And Andy overhears Pee-wee and her, and, Andy just chasing after Pee-wee wanted to, yeah. Of course, Pee-wee does get away, and, and of course, even say at one point, Pee-wee, he actually, he visited this fortune teller earlier, and the fortune teller basically, was finding a way for Pee-wee to know where his bike is, lying to Pee-wee, basically, it's in the basement of the Alamo. And so, of course, Pee-wee makes his way to Texas at the Alamo, and Tina, who is the tour guide of the Alamo, played by the late Jane Hooks. Pee-wee finally, when it comes to question time, Pee-wee asks about the basement, and it turns out there's no basement. So, and that's when he meets up with, he once again meets with Simone. She's making her way to Paris, and even say when he at one point calls Dottie to help him get back home, get a bus ticket. Well, he runs into Andy once again, and Pee-wee, he disguises himself as a cowboy and does a bit of rodeo with horses and bulls. At one point, Andy's still trying to get Pee-wee. God, what is Andy's deal? I mean, Andy and Simone, they broke up. So, well, probably because, you made me lose my girl. Basically, that's probably what it is. Well, at one point, Andy gets what comes to him. That being a bull chases him. So, anyways, you never mess with a bull. So, you get the horns. A quote from Breakfast Club. And so, yeah, even at one point, Pee-wee gets knocked out. He apparently at one point, he doesn't remember who he is, what happened, but he does remember the Alamo, but I guess his memory's back to normal at one point, even say when he tries to make another phone call, and he kind of pisses off these bikers, and he, even say he accidentally tips over their bikes, and he puts on a dance number for them, like a dancing, puts on the shoes and dances, entertaining them. And, they like him instantly after that. And, I guess they give one of the bikes to Pee-wee. And as he's riding off, well, he hits a sign, and that gets him in the hospital, apparently. And he has another dream, and his bike, a nightmare of his bike being destroyed, and Francis kind of being the devil, I even say when it turns out on TV, on the news, that, well, Pee-wee's bike is in the back lot of Warner Brothers Studios, and it's being used for a movie. Pee-wee sneaks in his way, and we get even say a cameo from Milton Berle. Pee-wee kind of pretending to be one of the people that's, hanging out with Milton Berle. And Pee-wee makes his way disguised as a nun, and he gets his bike, security chases him, they go by different, sets, one by one, one set is, beach themed, they're shooting a beach movie. Another set is Christmas, Pee-wee, Merry Christmas! And apparently on the beach set, well, one of the policemen gets on a boat, uses it to chase Pee-wee. The boat accidentally gets caught and accidentally causes Santa's sleigh to get caught and, is tangled with the boat. And, Pee-wee and the security, they wander into another set that's filming a Godzilla movie. Godzilla accidentally, hitches a ride in Santa's sleigh. Very crazy, yeah, but it's a funny, I guess, stupid funny chase sequence, I'd say. Even say, well, at one point, Pee-wee, when he at one point does, escape from security, he sees that a pet shop is on fire, and, very heroic for Pee-wee, he saves all the animals. Even say, well, even a chimp was helping Pee-wee as well, extra hands, what I'm saying? And even say, well, Pee-wee, he's kind of because of snakes. Paul Rubens, he is afraid of snakes, actually. But he trusted Burton with, Paul having to handle snakes. And, Paul, literally, Paul had to carry snakes out of the pet shop. Well, that is Pee-wee Herman. And even say, well, Pee-wee, he passes out, literally. And, the fire department and the police, they come to Pee-wee's aid. And, of course, two things. He's a hero, but also he's being arrested. Well, especially after what happened with, the backlot, basically, of the whole chase sequence. And it turns out, actually, Pee-wee is left off the hook. They want to make a movie based off of his adventure. And Pee-wee, he does get his bike back, Dottie being there. And, oh gosh, it's pretty funny. The movie that would be made based off of Pee-wee's own adventure is the total opposite. James Brolin, sorry. James, not Josh. James Brolin plays Pee-wee, and Morgan Fairchild plays Dottie. I've seen that before in other movies, but I can't remember what else it was, but oh well. And Pee-wee, he does have an appearance in his in the movie based off of him. He's the bellhop, and his voice is dubbed. Paging Mr. Herman, Mr. Pee-wee Herman, and everybody that that was with Pee-wee. From Mickey, the bikers, this one hillbilly, not hillbilly, this hobo who's why did I say hillbilly? I don't know. Hobo who was on a train that Pee-wee hitched a ride on, because when he first escaped Andy, this hobo, he's hanging out with Pee-wee and they're singing songs, and Pee-wee then gets annoyed and he finally jumps out of the train. Well, the hobo, along with others, they're at the movie theater as well. And did I forget to mention Pee-wee's dog? Yeah, because Pee-wee had some, humorous moments, and yeah. What else? Oh yeah, I'm forgetting a few other things. Cassandra Peterson made an appearance in this, aka Elvira. Well, not as Elvira, but with the bikers, and she was the biker mama. That's pretty funny. Oh gosh. And oh yeah, there was also Mario, played by Monty Landis. He owned a magic shop, and with that one sequence where, Pee-wee's getting some supplies, and Mario showed off some new stuff that came in, like, fake blood, or, headlight glasses. Yeah, which Pee-wee does use at one point, because, before the Large Marge sequence, like, Pee-wee's out in the middle of the road, it's pitch dark, you see his eyes glowing, like in cartoons, and when he uses the headlight glasses, a bunch of, it's cougars. A bunch of cougars are surrounding him. It is funny. But anyways, but all ends well, and I think, I guess for Pee-wee and Dottie, do they get together officially? Maybe. And even say, Francis, he at one point shows up again, and, he wants, he's got news reporters with him, he wants to sit in Pee-wee's bike, but Pee-wee, pushes a button that triggers the bicycle seat to, launch, bounce Francis off. You get my point. And even say when, earlier in the film when Pee-wee suspects it's Francis that stole his bike, Pee-wee just crashing into Francis's house and attacking him, tackling him in his own bathtub. Yeah, pretty funny. Even say when Pee-wee gives Francis and his dad some gum that he got at the magic shop. I think for Francis's dad, I couldn't tell, I guess the gum that he has is spicy, while Francis has gum that's black, gooey stuff dripping out of his mouth. I guess. Oh well, but with all that being said, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You know what, because I don't think it's that bad, I guess, obviously, everybody does enjoy this film, but I'm sure there are those that probably don't like it, and for those that can't stand Pee-wee. I know that my dad can't stand Pee-wee, but, Pee-wee doesn't bother me. Paul Reubens, he's a great actor, a nice and sweet guy, and, his character, Pee-wee, he's funny, and, he's Pee-wee Herman. So, anyways, how do I rate Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Good question. Yeah, why not? Yeah, 8 out of 10 stars. 8 out of 10 stars for Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And what did you guys think of Pee-wee's Big Adventure? What did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review a like, as always. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. More reviews coming your way. They're gonna be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video /review. And happy birthday to the one and only Tim Burton. And stay tuned later tonight because not only is today's Tim Burton's birthday, but also today marks the anniversary of one of the most beloved films of all time. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Stay tuned for that. Take care, and once again, happy birthday to Tim Burton. Peace out.